حي على الفلاح.
A story of leadership in the Qur'an, which is the story of Talut, the king Talut, who was divinely appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over the children of Israel after Musa alayhi salam and Harun passed away. They said that he was one of the kings of ancient Israel. In the Hebrew Bible, he was named Saul, and he was described as the first king of the United Kingdom of Israel. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. And what is more important for Muslims, all Muslims at all times, is to know that his story is a beautiful story. It offers great lessons of wisdom and knowledge and hikmah for those, especially for those who are concerned with reform, or they are concerned with the state of affairs, or the current state of affairs within our ummah these days, or concerned with the psychology of leadership, or the difference between corrupted leader and between good leaders. What happened is the children of Israel experienced a great deal of humiliation and division. They were divided, they were defeated, they were humiliated. This happened to them mainly because they disobeyed their prophets and did not follow the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of their Lord. Their enemies were the local at the time of Talut and Jalut. Their enemies were among the local people of Palestine, and their leader in the Qur'an, in this story, is named Jalut. In the Bible, he's Goliath. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started this story by saying, أَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَى الْمَلَإِ مِنْ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ مِنْ بَعْدِ مُوسَى. Have you not thought about the leaders of Banu Israel after the time of Musa alayhi salam? So here we are talking about al-Mala'. They are called Mala in Arabic because they fill the eyes of people with their wealth, with their power, with their status. They are the elites. They are the leaders. But they are divided leaders because they used to rule different tribes and they were not united at that time when they came to their prophet. The leader of their enemies, who was a kafir at that time, Jalut, Goliath, his name was mentioned in the story, but the name of this prophet was not mentioned. In the Hebrew Bible it is Samuel, or in Arabic Shamuel. When they said to the prophet of theirs, appoint for us a king and we will fight in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they were humiliated, defeated, they were in a very weak situation and divided into groups and tribes. So they came to their prophet at that time and they wanted him to appoint a king over them. So they are asking for unity here, to be united under the leadership of one king. But their prophet was not sure about the truthfulness of their claim, of their statement, and the sincerity of their intentions. Their prophet was not sure. He was not confident. So he said, قَالَ هَلْ عَسَيْتُمْ إِن كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْقِتَالُ أَلَّا تُقَاتِلُوا. He said, would you perhaps refrain from fighting if fighting was prescribed for you? That was his statement. So what was their reaction to his statement? Because he was not sure, he was not confident, as I said, about the truthfulness of their statement. Are they serious? They want unity. These people want unity, and they want to be united under the leadership of one man, and they want to fight for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then their reaction was very, very strong. They said, قالوا وما لنا ألا نقاتل في سبيل الله وقد أخرجنا من ديارنا وأبنائنا. They said, and why should we not fight for the sake of Allah, and when we have been driven out from our homes and our children? So here the tone the tone of their reply indicates that they were amazed at his statement, or they actually pretended to be amazed. Don't you see that we have been driven out from our homes and our children? Of course we will fight for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course we will be united under the leadership of one man and one king. Just appoint this king over us, and then we will follow him and we will obey his orders and his commands. So it's like there is no question about it. You shouldn't ask this question. Then what happened is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us at the end of this ayah 246, فَلَمَّا كُتِبَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْقِتَالُ تَوَلَّوْا إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِّنْهُمْ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِالظَّالِمِينَ. At the end of the ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that many of them have failed the test. Because these are the talkers. Talk is cheap, ya ikhwan. Lip service. But here the reality, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after they made this request, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing them now. So fighting was made an obligation upon them. We're going to see what you do. So he said, when fighting was prescribed for them at the end of the ayah, they turned away, except a few of them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is knowing of the wrongdoers. Let's analyze what happened here before we move to the next ayah. And these, as I said, these are leaders of humiliation, leaders of bad times, leaders of division, leaders of corruption. So we need to know, look at their requests or their demands, their three demands. They came to their prophet with three demands. The first one is to appoint over them a king. And the second, this king should lead them to fight against their enemies. And the fight should be for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Three demands. At the surface, when you look at them, they are good because these people were defeated, their homes were destroyed. I mean, they have every reason to fight their enemies and defend their honor and dignity and restore their conditions. Some ulama, they said it is strange for these requests or these demands to come from these people. Why? They said the first demand, they ask for unity, as I said. This is something that should raise some questions here and some doubts. Why? Because they said corrupted leaders do not like unity. And they said they don't like to fight because it would cost them their lives. And they are not genuine about their claim for doing things fi sabilillah. And the next ayah will be a proof for this analysis. What happened in the next ayah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, وَقَالَ لَهُمْ نَبِيُّهُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ بَعَثَ لَكُمْ طَالُوتَ مَلِكًا. So now we have the first filter. Some of them, they said when they knew that fighting was made as an obligation, turned away. So there is a group of people who still firm on their position and they want to continue with their prophet. Now this prophet is coming to them and telling them, indeed Allah has sent to you Saul or Talut as a king. They said, how can he be a king over us? Allah has sent this king over you. It was not my decision. Allah has chosen him to be a king over you. So this is the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They said, how can he be a king over us when we are better fitted for kingdom? We are worthy, more worthy of this position than him. And he's not wealthy. He doesn't have money. There's a problem here. They are arguing with their prophet and rejecting the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because this command is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that means they are rejecting the unity that they came and asked for it in the beginning. Now unity is not serving them because they don't like this king. He's not one of them. They refused. As I said, Yaqub alayhi salam had 12 children, and from these 12 children we got 12 tribes. So the ulama, they said the kingdom was in the tribe of Yehuda, in English Judah. And the prophets used to come from his child who was named Levi or Lawi in Arabic. And Talut, who was appointed as a king, was neither from the tribe of Judah nor from the tribe of Levi. He was from the tribe of Benjamin. So basically they are saying here, he is not from our tribe, he doesn't deserve this position. And the second argument is, he is not wealthy, he does not have money. So these are their arguments, and this is a proof that they were not sincere in the beginning when they asked for unity or asked for a king to be appointed over them. What was the response of their prophet? He said, قال إن الله اصطفاه عليكم وزاده بسطة في العلم والجسم والله يؤتي ملكه من يشاء والله واسع عليم. He said, indeed Allah has chosen him over you and has increased him abundantly in what? In knowledge. So a leader has to be knowledgeable. And here he said, bastatan fil jism, and stature or physical strength. Why? Because they want him to be the leader of the army. He will be the king, but at the same time he will be leading the army. So he has to be someone who has physical power and he knows how to fight. And then at the end he told them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives his sovereignty to whom he wills. So in the next ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that he sent them a sign as a proof for the kingdom or leadership of Talut. And the ulama are not sure if they ask for a sign or their prophet asked for a sign so to strengthen their iman and their faith. قال لهم نبيهم إن آية ملكه أن يأتيكم التابوت فيه سكينة من ربكم وبقية مما ترك آل موسى وآل هارون تحمله الملائكة. So their prophet said to them, verily the sign of his kingdom, the sign of his appointment or his leadership, is that there shall come to you a tabut, a wooden box. And this wooden box has in it some remnants of Musa alayhi salam and Harun. These people, the Israeli at that time, the children of Israel, whenever they used to fight with their enemies, they used to carry this tabut with them because they used to believe this tabut, this wooden box, is blessed box, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to give them victory over against their enemies because of the barakah of this tabut. That was their belief. Jalut and his army, long time ago, took this tabut from them in one of their battles. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to show them a miracle, a sign. He brought this tabut to them again. And who brought them the tabut? The malaika, the angels. Can you ask for something more powerful than this sign? The malaika themselves coming to them, bringing this tabut to them. Here you go, your tabut. So now when they saw this mu'jiza, they said they believed and they followed Talut. Now we are satisfied, Talut is our leader and we will follow him and will be members of his army. Now but Talut was not satisfied with the firmness or the determination or the faith of the whole group, because Talut does not want to proceed, set out with his army with people who are shaken, people who have no firm aqidah, because he knew that if he meets his enemy with this kind of people, he will be defeated. So he wanted to test them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about this test in the next ayah, which is, and he wanted to test their discipline and self-control. And he told them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be testing you with a river. And some ulama, they said it is the river of Jordan. Whoever drinks from it is not from me. You are out. They were allowed to drink from it, small quantity of water from this river. But if you go beyond that, then you are someone who was not able to control his desires. You have no self-discipline. You are out of the army. There was a small group left, and they crossed the river with Talut. After they crossed the river, now they saw the army of Jalut. It was a big army. They were called the Amalekites, the Amaliqa. They were tall people. And Jalut, Goliath himself, was very tall. And these people look at them and he said, we have no power. There is no power for us today against Goliath and his soldiers. That was the statement of some of them. This is what? The filter or test of yaqeen. That victory comes from Allah. It doesn't come through your weapons or your ability or your skills or your numbers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cares about quality. It's a difficult moment when a small army is in front facing a big army here. So if they don't have, both of them don't have Iman and faith, definitely the bigger army will defeat the small army. But there is another criteria. The people of Iman have another criteria. They believe that victory only comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but those who were certain they would meet Allah. So they said, كَم مِّن فِئَةٍ قَلِيلَةٍ غَلَبَتْ فِئَةً كَثِيرَةً بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ مَعَ الصَّابِرِينَ. He said, how many? A small group has overcome a large group by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah is with the patient. طيب, we know at the end what happened. How many people were left at the end? Some scholars, they said in the beginning there were 80,000. But I am confident about the second number because it is in Sahih al-Bukhari. Authentic hadith. The second number, how many were left at the end? 313. The same number of the Sahaba of Badr. Small number. And they were victorious. You know, Goliath was a giant. You know who killed him? Dawood alayhi salam. He was not a prophet at that time. He was a young man with a slingshot, with a rock. Hit him with the rock on the face, and Jalut was gone. So when the army of Jalut saw their leaders actually falling on the ground, they were what? Shaken. That's it. And he became a prophet after the death of Talut. In the Old Testament, they said one of the sons of Talut became a king, and then after that Dawood became a king. In the Qur'an, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not mention the son of Talut. He mentioned directly after he told us about this battle, he mentioned the kingdom of Dawood alayhi salam, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appointed him as a king after that, and he blessed him with knowledge and with wisdom and with kingdom.